Hey everybody, here we are on April 1st, 2016, and as much as I committed at the beginning of this year to doing these weekend trader videos every weekend like we used to, I have been remiss and I am guilty of not doing that over the past month and a half. And if you're one of those who, for some crazy reason, looks forward to this each weekend, I apologize. For those that don't, you probably had a great month and a half. But it's come to the beginning of a new quarter for me. And as I look around at a lot of aspects of my life and my trading business, I have decided, and I fully realize that I have to tighten up some areas. It's, for me, a situation where humanity often rears its ugly head at times in terms of commitment, in terms of perseverance, which is somewhat ironic because I'm going to be giving a talk on perseverance here in a couple of weeks. So I started really yesterday by writing to my diary or the blog a list of goals, and I want to talk a little bit about those for the current quarter. I always do best when I track myself. When I set goals, I track myself to those goals. Everything from using the performance scorecard that we've talked a lot about over the last couple of years to the race I had in the late 2000s, the $1 million race, the personal incentive, to lots of other aspects and subsets of life. And that's when I do my best. And when I don't do that, I tend to get into a period of complacency. I was just dropping Linda Ratchke, a good friend, a note. We're comparing our various lives and kind of some of the common challenges we have. And I talked about the issue, the challenge of passion, especially as most of you know, or many of you know, I hit the one of the speed limits a few weeks ago, 55. And for me, it's a matter, and you'll see this in the goals as well, of balancing capital preservation and growth, which I find a very interesting evolution for me. Gone from being a very aggressive trader in terms of growth objectives to one which is looking to balance preservation and growth, and that's new for me and something that I'm learning more about myself and more about how that works. When you're having other people manage your money, it's not that big a deal because they'll slowly change the mix, the equity mix, portfolio mix, I should say, over time. But when you're doing it actively managing yourself, it requires a bit of some self review and in terms of what the needs are and what the goals are and that kind of thing. So I know you folks are at differing stages in your life. Many of you I know are younger, some quite younger, some older actually. When we do the Jelly program, average age, what did we say what the average age was? Late 40s, early 50s, I think. Usually people from walks of life who have been successful in those other walks. But anyway, I guess my point is that I'm always talking from my own perspective. So I'm just going to talk through some of my goals as I look at the quarter. And there was I have them on my right, which is why I'm looking over here. There was certainly, if you didn't notice, personal goals listed before trading goals. This is a continuing evolution for me, and a continuing I don't know what the term is, realization of who we are and what skills we've given and why we've been given them and so on and so forth. So anyway, my personal goals: 1A, love more. Love more. I look back at certainly many aspects of my life, including trading, including mentoring, and in a business which is highly competitive. It's like a sport, and so I can equate this to those in professional sports. We can get into a battling relationship, an adversarial relationship, which on the one hand is necessary and healthy from a market making perspective. You need to have both sides, but at some point it can move past that, and And I've certainly looked at periods of my life. Many of you have, I'm sure, have witnessed them. And I am guilty of not really loving more. And part of that is if you jump down to personal goal number 3, reading the book in progress, a great book. I'm not going to go on a spiritual rant. I don't intend to. The book is called Imagine Heaven, and it talks about, it summarizes thousands of near-death experiences and shares the commonalities across all of that, no matter what your beliefs are. It's data that's extremely factual and very fascinating for those that may be interested in that kind of thing. And the bottom line, from that and certainly from other aspects of our life is that's really what we're here to do. We're here to support each other, love each other. And if I have failed to do that over the course of my teachings, over the course of my blogging, over the course of these videos, I'm sorry for that. I apologize for that. It was never intentional, but I'm sure the line was crossed there, and that moves us to 1B, which is reflect far more of God and far less of self. I've tried to do that, and I have miserably failed to do that. I remember a couple years ago blogging an entry of making sure that I pointed to where any strength that I did have came from, and it was never about me. But when you're in the public limelight, it's really hard not to get too caught up on yourself. And again, I apologize if and when that's happened in the past. And I recognize that. So anyway, that's my 1A and 1B. Love more and reflect far less of me, more of God. Number 2, talk and tweet less, and only if necessary, kind, and true. Many of you probably know the last part of that sentence, which reflects a combination of requirements that many use before speaking. Is it necessary? Is it kind? Is it true? Otherwise, we should just keep our mouths shut. And I got caught up a little bit in Twitter, in the spirit of trying to help, but it's an interesting social media animal, and so I'm going to make a commitment to talk and tweet less. We'll try to do these videos certainly off market hours and make them worthwhile, but that's a bit of a further evolution for me at this end. 3, finish reading the book in progress and target 2 others, continual education, continual enlightenment. 4, continue, we're involved in the Walk to Emmaus, as many of you know, and sit on the New England board for that. So we've got some continuing activity there. Number 5, complete weight loss program, attaining target weight of 178.5. Really, I'm looking at 179. I got to get under 179 from a 203 starting point. So here I am today, guys, gals, sitting at 181.2 in about 2.5 months, down from 203. And I feel good. I don't know if you recognize it because you can't see my whole body here, but it's looking good. Okay. The minute I say or reflect far less than myself, I talk about how good I look. And then number 6 is to sustain that, which is going to be an equal challenge. Keep it under 180 by the end of June. So these are my most important goals looking forward at the quarter. Okay. So now this is a trading diary. And that's what most of you folks are here. But as I've always said in doing this, I cannot separate the two. I cannot talk about trading and talk about my personal life without intertwining the two, because they go hand in hand. I am not one of those people that can just put up a business front or put up a trading front and just focus on that, because I feel it's so far beyond that. Any success I have had in trading or in any endeavor is directly the result of my personal life. And I've said before that the better you get at being a human being, the better you're going to be at trading. The better you get at trading, hopefully the more that'll translate to be a better human being. At least I would hope so, because there's such similar skill sets. And I know that with deep conviction. So again, those of you that have chosen to kind of watch over me or watch with me or talk with me or walk alongside me, know that's what this is about. I know we have a lot of new folks, the followers, a lot of new followers lately. But that is, if you are here and if you are being a part of this and trying to get something out of this, you have to understand that is what it is. It's not to direct people to a certain way of living, but it's sharing my own life and my own business, and the two are intertwined. So as I say in the book, To all of you, no matter what your beliefs are, I love you more than anything, and I'm going to work at that more and more and more. And I hope it starts showing in my tweets when I do that, and in my blogging and in my videos here. Okay, so trading goals. Number 7, first trading goal, 7th most important. Okay, this is for the second quarter now. 100% profitable weeks and months. Every week, every month profitable. Bottom line, gotta be there. Okay, a prerequisite. Okay, if that doesn't happen, fold up shop and go somewhere else. I mean, this is we shouldn't be doing this. Okay, number 8, second trading goal: incur maximum of 6 draw days over approximately 60 trading days. That's 2 a month, assuming 20 trading days a month. We may have more or less given holidays and that kind of thing. Got some time off, a couple of days I got to take off in April. So that's it. 6 draws in 60 days. Okay, should be more than doable. My one concern with that, frankly, is, and I've seen this happen in my trading before, is when I set goals like that, I tend to be less aggressive. When I look at the largest periods of my trading income, they have been accompanied by my largest draws, not in terms of number of days, but in terms of volume. That's why I'm targeting this in terms of a number of days versus a certain percentage of a draw. For me, I'd rather have it this way, and I don't care if 1 or 2 are large ones, because it tells me I'm trading aggressively, and I know that given the sample size over a quarter time, that there will be far more income to offset those draws. Okay, so it's I always say, win a little, lose a little, win a little, win a lot, win a lot, lose a lot. Okay, and then repeat the process. Okay, if you're aggressive, that's going to happen. Now, I know I've had ridiculous runs where I go for long stretches without having any draws. That may be the case. I don't know, but this helps frame my continued aggression with making sure I don't do stupid stuff that just blow the account away. Okay, so that's that one. Number 9, third trading goal: optimize targeted capital preservation / growth mix. And I say I have less than 5 years to 60, folks. Okay, so for me, it is important that I balance the two. So I've got the earnings target no less than $200,000 with a $400,000 stretch goal. That's for the quarter. Someone asked me on Twitter that's for the quarter. Okay, it's a modest goal, frankly, and it's a bit different than my earlier goals and my earlier results, frankly, because I'm now moving into a bit of a capital preservation period. Okay, so that's it. That's the range. Okay, there's a definite floor there. There is certainly upside. There's a stretch goal, and there's upside beyond that you're going to trade, right? You stay in the trade until it plays out, whatever that may be. So that means you're capping your risk, or you're trailing your stop, if you will, and then moving on from there. Okay, number 10, fourth trading goal: attain a minimum of 4 $25,000 days, 2 $50,000 days, and 1 $100,000 day. Now, again, I don't look at this in terms of a percentage of equity, percentage growth. I look at this business in terms of bottom line, and you can play just too many games with percentages. I don't want to have any part of that. You can put small amount of money in an account and make the percentage look really, really good. You can have multiple accounts where you don't show all the accounts. To me, that doesn't mean a whole lot. You can't buy anything, or you can't invest in anything, or you can't help anyone with a percent. Okay, you can help someone with $1. Okay, so I care about bottom line, and that's why all my personal goals are bottom line driven. Okay, so 4 $200,000 days, $25,000 days, 2 $50,000, and 1 $100,000. I will also say that I've still not yet had a $100,000 day. I have come very close a couple of times. I haven't. It's out there. I want to end my career having done everything that I possibly can in terms of leaving everything out there. And that's something I haven't done. I'm a little ashamed of that, and I say that in full recognition that many of you are trading much smaller lots and much smaller sizes and have much more modest goals. And so this isn't just to throw that out there, but for me, it's important that I do put something out there that I have not yet done, and it gives me something to shoot for. So if you shoot for the stars, you may hit the moon or something like that. So that's kind of it's a subset goal for me, but it's important. That's why I phrase it the way I do. Number 11, increase maximum ES trading size to 300 contracts. Those of you that have followed me for a long time know that my One continuing challenge, again, in the spirit of doing things that I have not done, is I still have not gotten a trade up to 300 contracts. Okay, I have come close, but I have not gotten there, and I intend that. I should have been there today. I should have been there today. Traded a little bit too conservatively today. Had a good day, very consistent. Read the market perfect. Right from the overnight slippage to the morning. Buying right from the morning with both hands, but I couldn't get up to that size. My holding period was a bit off later in the day, but I don't just sit and hold for a Friday run. Although I know they happen quite often, I'll wait for the retracement at some point and get back in as we did this morning. But good morning sequence, good midday sequence once we established support back above 50. Shorts were trapped. Bull cup and handles left and right, 5, 15, 60, 120 minute. That was decent. But sizing, needed work. It needed work, and it's our objective as traders to optimize every opportunity that we're given. And number 12, last trading goal: reduce transaction costs by 25%. I've gotten into a little bit of a bad habit of scratching versus having conviction in the trade and letting things work out, and that's been resulting in some transaction costs a little bit higher than I'd like to see, and so that usually is a signal for me of I don't say over trading, but over managing and self-doubting and not just letting the statistics play out. Okay. Now, for those of you that are new to this, I am not a guy that just puts something on that's purely statistical driven and let it play out over probability. I do agree with that concept, and I play that concept out. However, it is not just purely statistical for me, meaning that I will use the statistics of sample size and confidence in my own ability to read the market to, as a discretionary trader, to position, trade something out, and beyond. But there's discretion, there's aggression. It's like sitting at that poker table and making discretionary decisions as the hand plays out. Okay, in terms of betting size, in terms of the market tipping its hand to more data as it did today. Would have, should have, could have been all in midday today, at least for 3 to 4 point sequence, and why I held back. That's some self-examination I have at my end in terms of sizing at this point. I mean, it was essentially like sitting at a poker table and saying, well, I know I've got 4 queens. I've got 90% belief and understanding that the guy opposing me or gal has jacks. I got 4 queens, he's got 4 jacks. You kind of deduce that based on everything that's going on. You've got confidence in yourself, and you know that you should push it, but you kind of hesitate a little bit because it's not that 100%. That's something that I've got to work at, and really, as I get into next week, the first full week of the quarter, really get better at that. So those are my goals for the quarter. Are they good goals? I don't know. They're my goals. They're my personal goals. As I said on the lead paragraph or second one, if I just accomplish the top couple of personal goals, I will have made some great strides, and I will consider the quarter a monumental success. And again, I don't mean to how do I say this? I mean, I don't mean to get preachy. You folks that are listening to this, I guess, are listening for a reason, and I try to always be a straight shooter, tell you what like it is, tell you when things are going well, when they're not going well, and I am seeing more in my life, and you kind of see this in the lack of posts lately, a more balanced life, and I hope that as you folks evolve in your lives and your trading career, that you recognize there will be periods where you push it for all it's worth, and I've certainly been there in the 90s and in the first decade of 2000. Now it's being intense, but it's being intense when I want to be intense, and recognizing that there's far more to life than that. I've been undergoing some major renovations here at my home, involved in certainly non-market activities and obligations, which are very, very important to me. My number one passion remains in this business. I love it to death. I continue to be challenged by it beyond anything else. It will always interest me, and to the extent that I can share anything that I've learned or observed in terms of my own success or my own shortcomings with all of you, then we'll call it mission accomplished. And that's really the theme of the book. When we wrote the book, that's what it was. If you folks could just avoid some of the bloody crevices that I have fallen into at times, then it will be mission accomplished. And that's really my intent here. All the profits, any profits from the book go to 100% go to charity. I don't need it. I'm not interested in it. And but I am interested in continuing a dialogue. And I still have much to learn. Yeah, I mean, I still learn stuff in the market every day. I learn more things about me. I learn more things about the marketplace. Certainly, what we went through a few years ago with MF Global, and if you were with me during that time, you saw that play out. Difficult time, but looking back at it, John Corzine, I love you. You made some mistakes. All right. I make mistakes. There are different degrees of mistakes that we all make. Could I have said that 3-4 years ago? However long it was. How long ago was that? No, probably not. But maybe it's just a recognition of humanity and the need to forgive and the need to continue to help each other and the realization that we all fall short. I think that trading is one area where we always see that, because none of us will exit any trading day of our entire career with a perfect trade sequence. There will always be that little extra you could have gotten, or that little extra size you could have or should have put on the trade. And so we all fall short right away, right off the bat. There's a recognition that the best trader in the whole world, whoever that may be, right, is not perfect in execution and design or execution. It just isn't out there. We can strive for that. We can try to attain that, and that can be a great goal. But we're never there. So we all start off with that common denominator. And so again, it gets back into the trading being reflective of life and vice versa. And as corny as that may be, it's so true, and I found that to be true. So I share that for one reason, to remind all of us that it's not about perfection. Don't get too caught up on the people in social media. It used to be chat rooms, now it's Twitter and other places, talking about these perfect sequences. I tweeted, probably got carried away the other day. I tweeted a while ago that I stunk it up. I just missed the boat, and I was upset, and I said I was going to go dark until I recovered mentally, and it wasn't a draw, by the way, it was an opportunity cost, which to me hurts more than a draw. I'd rather lose 50,000 than miss 50,000. As crazy as that sounds, if I'm losing 50,000, I know that I am being aggressive, and I'm going to offset that by far more gains. But if I see an opportunity, I don't take it. To me, that is more costly and more painful. So I share that in a way for personal venting. Okay, some cathartic release, I guess. But also to let you folks know, and again, this is throughout the book, that this business is not about being perfect. This business is about recognizing our limitations, managing around those limitations, managing around our weaknesses, knowing that they're probably always going to be there, frankly, managing around the landmines, and still coming out on top. Okay, in trading and in life. All right. So anyway, again, if I get a little preachy, I apologize, but this is what we do here. This is my trading / life diary. They will forever be intertwined, and I think those that do recognize that will end up doing better at both, and also recognizing that there's a trade-off between both. So I appreciate your indulgence this evening, or whatever time you're watching this. I appreciate your patience. For those of you who are looking forward to more frequent videos, we'll try to do that more often. A lot of great things happening at this end in terms of trading. I'm not going to talk about the Jelly program other than to say we still may run one this year. Some personal obligations have gotten in the way. I've had to push that back. I love doing it, and again, if you're interested, let me know. But I'm as much interested in continuing to provide everybody with tools, even if it's at a little lesser depth in terms of level. Through the blog and through Twitter, and we can all have some fun in doing that. We'll do serious education too at some point again this year. But there's so much out there, folks. I mean, this blog has been active since 2007, 2008, and there's a wealth of knowledge here. And look back, and even when I do, there's some evolution. Does it sound like you're looking at the same person that you looked at 7 years ago? I hope not. Okay. I hope there's been some change. I hope there's been some evolution, and if there hasn't been, then I've got to look at myself in the mirror a little bit more. So, a little bit of self-reflection here, but we all start the quarter, first full week of the new quarter next week. Every one of us watching, listening, or giving this presentation is alive, breathing. We've got an opportunity to do better than we did last quarter all around. Let's take advantage of that opportunity. The slate is blank. The canvas is white. Let's paint that as close to a perfect trade sequence as possible. Let's talk about it going forward. So again, thanks. Have a great weekend. We'll catch you on the flip side. Take care.